Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the topic of, is the media having a negative effect on people's mental health? So when it comes to this topic, what I'll be discussing is the media we consume, like TV shows, movies, video games, music, but specifically story-based video, okay? And when it comes to answering that question, straight up, simply, no ifs, ands, or buts, yes, I definitely do believe is having a negative mental health effect on people, and it's even contribute as a whole to the mental health crisis that is happening among young people today, okay? I definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, do believe it is. But at the same time, unlike a lot of people from the older generation who says, oh, just outright ban it, which will just make things worse, because then it's going to become cool to look at dark things and stuff, and it's going to create an underground market where people will sell those things. I'm going to talk about what we can do to create preventive measures to prevent it, that prevent media from having a negative effect on your mind, let alone, for that matter, let alone teaching you strategies like you can do if it has a negative effect on you to stop it from happening, okay? So that's what we'll be talking about for this video. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic of, first and foremost, of course, why I believe the media is having a negative effect on people's mental health, before, of course, I get to, of course, the solutions to end this crisis. The simple truth of the matter is, without a shadow of a doubt, it simply comes down to common sense, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, as I know a lot of people know, everything that you think of, no matter how original you think you are, or even how original you actually are, has come from somewhere else, from somebody, okay, in one way, shape, or form or another. Everything that we think of in one way or the other has come from something we watched at some point, okay? And the truth of the matter is, when it comes to obviously that particular topic, which obviously a lot of people, let's be honest, in society do have mental health problems, okay? And the fact that they obviously had to get that from somewhere, and even, of course, the amount of people who claim that they watch a movie and they actually were very depressed for even a week or two or something. The truth of the matter is, without a shadow of a doubt, it's just clear as day, media definitely does have an effect on people's brains, okay? Especially dark-based media, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, like any form of media, okay? You have people who produce things well, and people who just take things too far, okay? And do not produce things well. Whether it's just too excessively gory, like it's not even like gore, it's like the most detailed gore you can imagine, or that's the most depressing visual image, disturbing theories about life, like, oh, is life real, or this and that, or it's just a dream or something, or are you secretly God who created this whole universe just for you to experience it or something. Like, all these things are opinions and views that are constantly present in movies, okay? And as we all know, not everyone can handle things the same way. Some people's minds are more sensitive than others, because some people remember things better. And not even just that, some people are just obviously maybe a bit more intellectually vulnerable in that regard, okay? So the truth of the matter is, definitely I do believe it has a negative effect on people's brains, okay? Because even from personal experience, and even from what I heard other people say as well, I definitely believe if you watch too much dark media, it can have a massive negative effect on your brain. Especially movies like, obviously, if you grew up in the 1990s and happened to be unlucky enough to stay up 2 to 3 to 4 in the morning, and you had the misfortune, especially if you're Canadian, but of course American too, I guess, of course, let's be honest, of course, to have stayed up too late at night, and and aside from those extremely disturbing, depressing documentaries that they used to show at that time, specifically 3 o'clock in the morning of all times, like the most evil things humans have ever done for, ever. Like, I remember I watched one documentary about the Rwandan genocide, and they showed like some museum of like a whole bunch of people with their skeletons. It was, and even just the way the music was and the way they depicted the image of it, was disturbing. And of course, let's not forget, of course, those infamous slavery documentaries about how horrible slavery was, African slave trade they had in the late 1990s, especially. And of course, we can't forget about this conspiracy series about it's a year 2000 going to be the last millennium for humanity, all that type of stuff, yada yada yada, the whole 9 yards you're all familiar with. They also used to show something known as Spawn, and I remember watching that show, and that show, the animated series specifically, had some dark things in it. It was a very disturbing, and it gave you ideas that you didn't want to, or of course it could be, if not that, especially around the early 2000s, you have to show things like the Matrix, which was a very disturbing movie and stuff. Obviously, when anime became more popular, people started to learn about other forms of anime that at one point people never even heard of or even aware of. So you have shows like Neon Genesis Evangelion, and aside from things like that, you obviously had, just a lot of things around that era that was very disturbing and perturbing, which it's still bad now, let's not get it twisted, but it was pretty damn bad back then. The truth of the matter is, it's without a shadow of a doubt, like I was saying, from things like that, and from what I heard people say about those types of things, it does have an effect on your brain, okay? It does leave images in your brain that could take anywhere from weeks for them to get out of your head, let alone, of course, it never truly leaves your head. So you don't know what situation you're going to go through in life, where those thoughts and ideas might come up in your head and give you ideas, let's just say, you really don't want to think about, okay? So the truth of the matter is, yes, entertainment does play a negative effect on your mind, okay? It's just that the thing is, you have to realize there is ways to fix it, okay? And the best way to fix it, the first way to fix it, is to be more careful with, like, watching dark-based media, okay? Because when you watch dark-based media, it can be done well sometimes, but sometimes the messages and stuff they put in it are just overly dark, and it's like, is this really supposed to be an entertaining story, or is this more, or just trying to really disturb you because you want to get people to talk about this movie and stuff, let alone maybe somebody who made a movie might just have serious mental health problems, so they just show you the most disturbing things imaginable. That's a reflection of what they're going through mentally in their lives, all that type of shit, okay? The truth of the matter is, you have to be careful with the dark media you look at. And even if you look at dark media in general as a whole, even by things that are actually ranked well and giving good reviews, do not watch all the time, okay? Because I notice a lot of people tend to watch those things because they think it proves how hard they are. Like, yo man, I can watch the darkest things imaginable, and I can go watch like cat videos and stuff afterwards. Yo man, I'm such a tough guy. Like, that way of thinking. And yes, there is a lot of people out there who are like that, and it's fucking disturbing, to think it that way, in honesty. That's really not a good way of thinking. I can understand when you're like a young kid, but when you grow older, you realize that's not a good way of thinking at all, because you don't know the effect it's going to have on your brain in the future, okay? And it can contribute to serious mental health problems like OCD, which just means you're just thinking of literally the worst, most disturbing thoughts in your head over and over again, which is based off your worst fears, or if not OCD. It can contribute to you maybe even seeing and hearing things that are not there, anxiety, all that type of stuff. That's why you have to be careful when you look at those really dark-based movies and media in general as a whole, okay? If you watch it, just watch it once in a good mood, but don't feel like you have to watch it all the time to prove how tough you are. Like, at the end of the day, who cares? In the end of the day, if you want to prove your abilities, just find a fucking hobby like everyone else finds. Don't just look at dark things and say, oh, it's proved how tough I am. Like, who cares? Okay? Like, that's one of the things people need to realize, okay? So, to sum it up, most of the media you should be watching should either be one of two things, okay? Light-based media or media that's in the middle. It's not too light, but not too dark. Don't just watch things that are dark all the time, because it doesn't really do anything for your brain, and it just screws you up mentally, okay? You don't get anything from it. It'll just fuck you up mentally, and that's the truth, okay? So that's my first point, okay? So the second point, of course, is if you're someone who might be a more vulnerable person in general when it comes to your thought process, definitely make sure you challenge the thoughts, because a lot of movies that are dark present a lot of very disturbing theories, like, is anybody really real? Is life just a dream? And obviously all these things, which even though it's entertainment, these are very hard questions to answer in general. as a whole. So probably put your time and effort, if you're someone who's more vulnerable in terms of your thought process, into actually challenging those thoughts, so you can obviously get rid of those thoughts out of your head so they don't bother you, okay? And that is my second point, okay? So challenge the thoughts you get in your head, because at the end of the day, that's true. So anyway, to end this video off, the truth of the matter is these are just simply tips I'm doing to not only prevent you from going down a road you don't want to go down, but also to help enhance the entertainment experience. Because entertainment is a good thing. It's the only thing in the modern world that makes our life actually enjoyable. So to have it, the privilege of being able to enjoy something taken away just because you have a poor thought process, that's not even your fault. It's simply sad. And that is the truth. So anyway, this is my video. That's off the saying. Some people put them out. Bye. Yeah.